What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new gameplay video. Today we're actually going to be playing Lucian, and we're going to be using a Korean build that we talked about the other day. You guys said a lot in the comments that you wanted to see a full gameplay, you wanted to see this build in actual action, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, first couple of things, I'm actually with Foxtrot at the moment. I'm staying in the same house as him, so I'm back with my parents, so I don't have my webcam set up. I'm going to be back in like a few days, but for now I don't have a webcam, so sorry about that. I guess if you enjoy seeing my face. But anyway, so this game we're going to be building the GHOSTBLADE into BLACKCLEAVER build that is tearing up Korean solo queues. So masteries and runes, we're actually going to be running the Further Battle for our masteries. Further Battle is really good with Lucian because it applies on his passive, his double shot, so both of those are going to do extra damage. So it's a really good synergy, and it's why I kind of like, even though Warlords is nice for lifesteal and stuff, I just think it's so much damage, you really want to take that. For the runes, we're running pretty standard, AD reds, armor yellows, magic resist blues, and also attack speed quints. So pretty much standard stuff there. The build path is going to be a little bit different, but kind of what makes Lucian is still the same, right? We actually get into the build more as I'll go through like the game and stuff. I'm going to obviously commentate kind of like what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do, my playstyle, how to actually play him and stuff. We'll also talk about the build in a little bit more depth. If you haven't seen the video that started this whole thing off, then I'm going to put that down in the description, and you should definitely check that out because it will go over it in a way more concise depth, I guess. So you can just watch the 6-minute video instead of watching the full gameplay. I'm sorry as well if you can actually hear my mouse clicking and stuff like that. Obviously I'm kind of using a different setup for this video, so it'll be a little bit different. But yeah, so the first level 2 we want to be pushing. We're actually against a Draven and okay, I actually missed that one. That's unfortunate, but against a Draven and a Braum. That's nice, but I don't have my Q, so can't really do too much. I'm gonna back off there. Would have been nice if I had my Q, but it's still good damage. Yeah, so we're pushing for level 2 just because, you know, that's what you do in every single lane. If we hit level 2 first, it means they can't go really aggressive. Hit the Q down the line, nice, but not really too much damage this stage. We're just really trying to Q down so we get damage onto all of them. If we get level 2 first, we can go a bit more aggressive maybe, which would be nice, but more importantly, they can't go aggressive, which is the bigger thing here really. So this build, BLACKCLEAVER and GHOSTBLADE first, then BLACKCLEAVER. Why does it actually work? Well, it's really playing around Lucian's power at the moment. Oh, wow, that actually hit, okay. Oh, he didn't fist him? That was unfortunate. Yeah, so it's playing around Lucian's power, basically, like his mid-game power. We're making that even more, even bigger. So we're making him even stronger during the mid-game, which is kind of where, you know, Lucian's really famous for taking over a game and doing so much damage and killing everyone. Well, that's kind of what we're doing, but we're just doing that even better. So GHOSTBLADE gives us a lot of AD. Well, actually, let's just put the two together. So if we wouldn't be having our... I'm just going to talk about this while we're farming and stuff. I'm going to try not to get get stunned here, so I'm just going to back off a little bit. That's timed out, nice. Anyway, so I'm going to put the two together, so like Essence Reaver and like Rapid Fire Cannon, or having this GHOSTBLADE and BLACKCLEAVER. I'll put the items together. So actually the two together, you get way more AD, you get more attack speed when you have the... active on, which is nice. And you just have like loads of armor pens. So that's one of the biggest things, is you can get through tanks a lot easier because you're going to be having the armor shred from the BLACKCLEAVER, which is percentage, and you're going to be having the base armor for your armor pen from the GHOSTBLADE, which is going to increase your damage as well. So I want to show you it, but I think what I'll do is I'll show you it on the way back to lane, because it'll be a little bit easier. Right now it's kind of hard for me to hover over like the character profile, because obviously we're trying to push this. I'm just trying to thin the wave a little bit so that when we get into tower it's not going to be too difficult to manage. Okay, that works too. Oh, we can actually hold this out here. I'm not going to take too much damage because they're backed off anyway. So actually, I can probably do it now, maybe, but I don't really want to... Is he DC'd? Nope, okay. Yeah, but anyway, so it's a lot of armor pen, which is really nice. We shred through tanks. Oh, close one. We shred through tanks, which is really good. Gonna hit the Draven just to kind of bully him away, but I'm gonna dash out here. I don't think we really win the fight there, so I'm not gonna take that. If Blitzcrank can't get a hook, he's really useless, so we don't really want to do too much, honestly. Anyway, so the GHOSTBLADE is going to make our abilities hurt more with the armor pen, which is really nice. And this is kind of what we're doing. We're actually making our abilities hurt more rather than relying on crit. And our auto attacks. That's kind of the biggest difference. We don't really have any crit with this build at all, but with the Essence Reaver and stuff, we have obviously a lot more crit. So that is the biggest difference. But in my opinion, actually, you're not going to feel it that much because you should be doing more damage. Like, you'll be doing loads of damage. Oh, okay. I think I might have to heal this guy. so he doesn't get stunned. Okay, that's the exhaust though. I'm gonna pop my biscuit here. I don't have anything, my friend. So let's see if we can get anything out of this. I actually don't have really anything though. I have a ward, I guess. Well, we got everyone's summoners right there, but we didn't manage to get a kill. That's kind of unfortunate. Whoa, bollocks. That's not too bad though. I think that's okay. Let's see if he misses this entire wave. It's really good. Anyway, you're not going to feel it because your Q and your ultimate are going to be doing absolutely loads of damage, which is so good. You see, like if we ever get to a team fight, they actually have a Maokai. If we ever get to that stage of the game where I'm like trying to kill this Maokai, what I can do is I can ult, and every single bullet of my ultimate is not only going to speed me up with the phage part of the Black Cleaver, but it's I missed that one. But it's also going to give me the armor pen on every single, the armor shred on every single bullet. So it's actually insane. Like we'll get to 30% reduction really fast, and then we can go in with our auto attacks afterwards and really tear apart this Maokai. So it's gonna be great. But he also spike harder in lane because there's actually more stats early. Crit is really good later into the game, but actually at the early stage of this game, we're not really crit's not really that good. So having a Ghostblade is way more power in lane. I guess mana issues as well, kind of, but I don't think you really have much mana issues, especially if you're aware of it and you're trying to play around that fact and not waste your mana. I think you can actually play around that quite effectively anyway. So just general laning phase, I'm going to talk about what I've been doing so far, because normally I talk about like, you know, the general gameplay, what I'm trying to do and stuff, and so far I kind of just talked about the build. So what we're actually trying to do is kind of keep them in this part of the map at the moment, because if we can keep them here, then they can't really do too much. Whereas if they're starting to push up like this now, you see he can go a bit more aggressive because Draven's farming the minions and we have to kind of back off. So the more we can get them pushed into their tower, yes, it's a little bit riskier because we're further away from our tower, but it also means that they're concentrating on thinning down the minion wave rather than, you know, hitting us, which would be the nice thing. I'm going to use my Q on the wave there a little bit, though, just to thin it out, because if we fight within all of these minions, it's actually really difficult to do anything. Okay, I'm going to fight him because Fiddlesticks is here with his ult as well. Nice. Flash. I'm going to go... Okay. He stole it with the Q. Are you serious? Oh yeah, and if you haven't realized, by the way, I normally talk about this in the game as well. I'm actually duoing with Foxdrop on one of his accounts as well. This is my unranked to diamond account. Oh, we can take dragon as well. That's nice. This is my unranked to diamond account. It's gold 1 at the moment, but it is actually in plat 2 MMR roughly. And Foxdrop's account is this Fiddlesticks. He's jungling, and he is in plat 5, I believe, with kind of like plat 4, plat 3 MMR. So this is kind of like a higher plat game. Hopefully it can show you a lot. But when I was actually testing this out, like this build and stuff, I was testing this out in like mid to high diamond, so it actually is really insane. Like I love this build. I think it's really strong. I think it's actually too strong. I think it should get nerfed. One of the things as well, in 6.9 it was actually made cheaper, like the Black Cleaver. That's why we're seeing it so much now, because we're getting the 400 gold like reduction on the Black Cleaver, which makes it a really nice pickup. Actually doesn't matter right now, but I will mention just the order of stuff. So like you have 2 component parts for your Ghostblade, and you also have 2 components for the Black Cleaver. Let's just dash quickly. So you're normally always going to want to get the Dirk first, because the 2 passives are just insane basically. It's the same AD, well 5 less AD, but you get Armor Pen, which makes your abilities hurt more, and after killing any unit, your basic attack will do an extra little bit of damage, which is really nice too. I'm going to show you this Armor Pen, how Armor Pen works in 2 seconds when I thin this wave out. Let's try and not lose as many as can. Okay, so armor. The base armor pen is going to affect the blue number, the 36 number. Now, bonus is what is affected by percentage stuff on like a Last Whisper or Black Cleaver. So base armor pen on Ghostblade reduces base armor, so it affects everyone. Increases your ability damage, increases your auto attack damage, any physical damage source. The good thing as well is that your Q and your ultimate both are physical damage, meaning that it's going to apply on both of them. Let's see if we can actually get this guy. I don't know though. I don't know what Brom is doing really. He might be having connection issues. He might just... Yeah, he might not. But now I'm going to actually start trying to hit my Q onto him as much as possible through minions, because my abilities are going to be hurting a lot now with this build. This is one of the really good things. Is yes, your abilities hurt anyway with like Essence really very deep, but you know, you have the added arm pen, which is actually going to make your abilities do more. So your Q, your ultimate, will do a ton more damage, and that's got what we're going to be aiming for. We're going to be trying to aim them up. Unfortunately, missed it there. But your ultimate is actually way more important. There's one thing I found with this build, transitioning it, is culling kind of useless normally, I think, in a normal Lucian build, right? And well, this one is way less useless. So in team fights, I just throw it out because, you know, actually in a normal team fight, I'd rather be auto attacking than using my ult. But that's not the case. Oh man, that actually hit. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So we're actually gonna still fight this, I think. Oh, I did clip him. I tried to clip him off the corner of the screen there, but I wasn't sure if that was actually gonna hit or not. Okay. We're going down for the. Okay, well, she's dead, I guess. Rip. But yeah, so your culling is way more important, as I was saying, and actually, like, you don't really want to waste it. So in team fights, like, I'd normally just throw it out because I can, right? But actually, in this kind of situation, I want to be way more careful with it and make sure that I'm going to get something out of it. I'm just going to dash away there. I actually kind of assumed the bite, the Q from Braum was going to hit me, because even though I'm stronger than these guys, I'm not stronger if I get stunned, right? That'll just kill me instantly. So I do have to be careful in this lane. The one thing that, like, kind of can screw me up now, even though I'm a lot stronger, is damn. The one thing that can kind of screw me up now is going to be the don't fart. Okay, well, I mean, he didn't take that many, actually. The one thing that's going to screw me up is if I get stunned, so that's what I'm watching out for. You can see, though, I'm not going too aggressive. I'm not really over-committing. Even though I could be dashing in and doing a lot and stuff, you spike really hard with your Ghostblade, and then you spike again really hard with your Blackcleaver. I don't really want to, like, take a risk and throw necessarily when I don't have to, because I've got the gold. I can just get the Ghostblade, which is going to be really good. And this build is way more, like, in and out, I guess. Like, what I'm trying to say is, like, with an Essence Reaver build, you're going to be auto-attacking a lot, you're going to be critting, right? So that's like a good source of sustained damage with your auto-attacks. This build, your autos still hurt, obviously. They hurt a lot more with the Blackcleaver, which we'll get into when we buy that, but really, you're going to be doing a lot of damage with your Q, so you need to, like, kind of wait for that cooldown. You want to poke with it first, then go in at a range when you can kind of burst, rather than, like, a range when, you know, you can just auto-attack to get something. Now, he's actually on his own, so I'm going to try and go in here. Oh, damn it. That was unfortunate. I tried to get out here. I wanted to get away from the Braum, because if he ulted me, this guy could flash back in and kill me. But yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. I misplayed that a little bit, but you could see how much damage I did there. If Braum wasn't there, I would have definitely killed that guy. I just backed out because he could have hit me with his ultimate, and then I'd have been completely boned. But yeah, kind of unfortunate, but we're still doing really well. We're still actually ahead in CS, which, if you didn't know as well, Draven should definitely actually win this matchup. So the fact that we're kind of even is actually, well, I'm kind of like ahead apart from that dumbass flash there. Like, it's actually pretty good. I could have healed as well, but I thought I'd kind of escape it. And really what you should do is you should never flash backwards for a Draven. For a Draven ultimate, you should always flash to the side, because if you flash backwards, you're going to get hit with the knockback, which is exactly what happened there. So hopefully, even though it's kind of bad, you can obviously not do that if you're ever against the Draven again. But you can see the kind of key damage we're already putting out, which is really, really good. I might actually roam a little bit. I'm going to push this wave, and then I'm probably going to roam, because Blitzcrank is roaming around a lot, which is fine, but it leaves me in a 1v2 in this lane, which you can see there. Like, I win the 1v1, sure, but when Braum is showing up as well, I'm actually not going to win that one. So I'm actually going to roam, and I'm going to try and do something around the map, and see if we can get, like, a kill on Ari or something, because my ultimate, like, is going to hurt so much, and base armor pen is going to be crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm just gonna wait and kind of bait it in a little bit, because I wanted him to commit, and then we can go in. So you see how much damage this is doing right now? It's absolutely crazy. I'm actually gonna use my I think I'm gonna get him here. Oh, that was really close though. That was a little bit of a tickle. Little bit of a tickle right there. Now the thing is, he could actually blind me here, and he could really do a lot of damage, so. But yeah, when your abilities are doing this much damage, it's hard for you to really screw it up, I think. Now, Temu is around here somewhere. I think he probably run under his tower. Yeah, he's definitely... Temu is probably invisible under his tower, I think. so it's not really worth, because if I run into that, obviously like he's just gonna kill me. But yeah, hopefully I kind of redeem myself for that bad Draven play there. But roaming around, your earlier power spike with this build is really seriously good. This is kind of the phase where you start to really like take over, I guess. And we can get this guy after. This is kind of what I want Blitzcrank to come down for, because we're definitely stronger in this fight with a Ghostblade. So let's see if we can get it. He's got an Infinity Edge, so his crits are gonna hurt. But when I have the Ghostblade active, I think actually we're gonna come out on top a little bit here. So let's see. We'll try and get some key poke, which is nice. Whoa, careful, my friend. I don't have my ultimate. That's not a good idea. Yeah. So you can't actually run up like that. Blitzcrank doesn't do anything if he if he doesn't have a hook or anything like that, and yeah, so that was a bit interesting. Not really. That was kind of play you'd make if you were playing like a, you know, like a Braum or I don't know, Braum or like an Alice or something. But I'm gonna run here. I'm gonna dash that, and it comes in, and now we're gonna turn around again. I have my ultimate in a second. If I'd had my ultimate earlier, I could have maybe done a little bit more, but now he can just. Okay, he could just shielded that culling and made it do no damage, but he didn't. I'm guessing he had that on cooldown when he jumped at me, which makes sense. I think Draven might have healed there as well, which if he did, that would be really nice. I'm not going to overextend too much because they're playing quite up, which means normally someone else is here. Ahri's missing from the mid lane, and I don't know where she is. So the fact that they're still playing up when they know that Lux could be here is a good sign that someone else might be here as well, and that's generally she's actually mid, so maybe they were just like not very smart, but not really worth the risk. I think that like 9 times out of 10, if they play up like that when they don't have any kind of, you know, pressure on us, then that probably means someone else is here. And the amount of times I've been baited like that, never worth. So the next kind of step into this build is going to be going into a Black Cleaver. 2 component parts again, Warhammer and the Phage component part. Now normally we're going to be, or maybe I shouldn't have used that actually. I'm waiting for this guy to take aggro. Now I can go in again. I think I'm not tanking that good. I don't really want to. Oh, Maokai's here. Right, so thing is coming in, which is nice. I'm going to dash this wall, I think, just to get out of this one. And if he comes back in, we can do something. I still have my Ghostblade. I still have my heal. Not too worried. I'm going to heal just for safety in case Ahri decided to charm in here, but she didn't. Now Ahri, I think, is over here. So I'm going to ward here just in case. Nice. And we'll get that kill as well. So that's kind of, I played that a little bit passive, but the reason I play passive is because Ahri, even though she's 1 of 5, she has a Morello non-Bacana, she's doing, like, that's a lot of damage. Now Morello has been changed, remember, so it's like a big ticket item. It really does a lot of damage. You have to be a bit careful. Plus, actually, Temu does hurt. Like, he's got a lot of damage. The Haunting Guys and Runic Echoes thingy. Runeglaive that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, so. Yeah, anyway, okay, I actually just ranked up my ultimate. That's another thing I can talk about, because Ghostblade used to be bought on Lucian a lot, right? We'd actually see it kind of commonly, like when this first came out. Okay, someone else is definitely here, because, yeah. We actually saw it like a decent amount. Is he DC'd or... No? Okay. Yeah, so we saw a decent amount when he first kind of came out, because it is really good. The armor pen and the AD, the flat AD, is a really nice combination. But the problem was, like, well, the reason it kind of was stopped, I'm just going to dash away, because I don't see why he'd run at me like that unless there was someone else here, and I don't really want to find out either. I have 3,000 gold. I'm just going to go back and get my Black Cleaver. I don't think there's any point fighting right now, because he does have well, he doesn't have a gold lead, but he has an effective gold lead, because he's, I might actually go for this pink, you know. I'm going to channel my recall, because if they don't go for it, then I can just, here we go. Go on, go over. There we go. Nice. Oh my god, Blitzcrank stole one with a fart, then another one with his passive or fist or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that is a case of channel your recall, because just in case like they don't turn up and they don't come and take the bait, then it doesn't really matter, does it? And you can just leave. But if they do take the bait, then we get the extra kills. So that's just purely staying there. I guess just in case something happens. Anyway, I'm gonna finally get my point out about the Ghost Blade. It used to increase the shots on his ultimate. So when you activated Ghost Blade with your ultimate, it would actually mean that you did more damage because you'd fire more shots off, because it went scaled kind of with your attack speed. So the more attack speed you had, the more shots you had with your ultimate. That's not the case anymore. It doesn't work like that. It's a flat amount of shots per rank. So I now do 25 shots. That's actually 2,000 physical damage, which is kind of crazy at the moment. But yeah, so it's 25 shots. It doesn't matter if I activate my Ghost Blade. So if you're going to activate your Ghost Blade while you're using your culling, it should be just for the movement speed. Using it is kind of a habit for older players, but you really shouldn't activate it unless you're going to get something out of the movement speed, because the attack speed is completely wasted. It does absolutely nothing. There's no point doing it at all either. So you really don't want to actually use it. It's best effectively used if you wait culling and then use it after with the auto attacks. There's a couple of things. So your ultimate is going to do more damage with these two, because one, it applies the 5% armor shred, stacking up to 30% on every single shot. So 5% per shot, absolutely crazy, especially considering that's 25 shots. And those shots aren't going to go onto the same person in every single team fight. Like 5 of them might go onto the Maokai, or 10 of them might go onto the Maokai. 5 of them might miss. Another 5 might go onto the Braum or something. So you're actually doing, like, in a way, you're doing AoE armor shred onto people, which is actually really insane. But also the armor pen from your Ghost Blade, the 20 armor pen, is actually going to be effective because on your ultimate, because it's physical damage. So this is just like the insane build. You do bonus damage per shot because you have more AD with this build. You're having more armor shred. You're having more armor pen. It's just, I don't know. This build is absolutely crazy for culling damage. It goes from the tickling to actually something that's really, really strong. So we should really talk about where we're going after this build, though. So we're going to go in for some attack speed and some crit chance. That'll be the first kind of stop, I guess, on this build. We really should get the dragon as well, which would be really nice. But yeah, we should get some kind of attack speed and stuff. So we're normally going for rapid fire cannon. Phantom Dance would also be good, but there isn't really a threat that I need to Phantom Dancer for the damage reduction. Honestly, like, Maokai, not really a kind of a DPS tank. He's kind of just a solid tank, right? So I don't really need it for that. Temu, not particularly. Maybe I could, I guess. Temu's actually going to probably do a lot of damage this game, which would be annoying. But really, I think Rapid Fire Cannon gives us a bit more utility, so we're going to go with that one. A bit more damage. And then we're going to go into Mercurial Scimitar most of the time, because this QSS active, even though it's nerfed, it's actually still really good. Life Steal gives us a good amount of AD, which increases our abilities even more. And it gives us the QSS active, which can cleanse the stun, it can cleanse the charm on Ari, it can cleanse the blind on Temu, the root on Maokai. Like, there are a lot of actual things that it can cleanse, even though it's not cleansing damage spells anymore, or damage or whatever. It's still going to be pretty decent for this against this team, so we'll do it like that, I think. I'm actually going to go back and buy soon, but I kind of want to, like, I kind of figure we should team. Whoa, is that lagging out there? That was a little bit of lag. Weird. But anyway, yeah, so they caught someone. Okay. Seems to be Braum. So I didn't want to ultimate before that because... Haha, don't think so. Didn't want to ultimate before that because his Glacial Fissure would have interrupted it, so there was no real point. I might go for this, so there we go. So I know a lot of that burst, I'm not saying that burst was all me, but Lucian does a lot of burst damage, which is really, really good. So the damage, like, now with this build, the burst is crazy. You snowball harder than you do with the other build, in my opinion, because with a lead, like, they're going to have less health. Your abilities, you want to be bursting people who are a little bit behind and you're ahead. So building this kind of thing really does close out a game. It's insane. Oh, man. Can Blitzcrank stop taking my kills? Oh, my God. But anyway... yeah, so you can see just how much damage we're actually doing, even though we're not getting the kills. It's insane. The other thing with Black Cleaver is actually that we're going to be doing the 5% on the passive shots as well. So, okay, so there's two things. The first one is that, oh man, we're actually almost going to be, I think with my, okay, thank you for the tower there. That's very nice of you. So there's two things. The first one is they apply both. So actually, if you passive shot, you're going to be doing 10% damage reduction on the 10% armor shred. Sorry, and then also every time after you passive shot when they're on 30%, you're going to be doing more, because obviously that's AD damage. It's scales, or it's reduced by armor, and because they have less armor, you're going to be doing more damage with both of them, which is really cool. So this is where the build really starts to take off onto like another level, I guess, because before we've been having basically a ton of AD damage, right? We've been doing a lot of damage with that Q. If you see, like every time I get a chance to, I'm trying to snipe someone through the minion wave with my Q. Because it does so much. But now we're actually getting into the part where our auto attacks are starting to hurt as well, because we're armor shredding and then we're going into auto attack. So now we're actually building some crit, we're also building some attack speed, and especially with our Ghostblade, we're going to be actually doing a ton. So this is kind of where we're doing a lot of burst damage, but we're also doing a ton of sustained damage at the same time, which is really, really good. Now I actually don't want to fight this Draven alone, because he has like the Phantom Dancer, which reduces my damage, and he also has an Infinity Edge, which is so much damage, like it's insane. Okay, well, I guess. Okay, well, that was lucky. So yeah, I actually want to fight him alone because he does a lot of damage, even though I'm really, really fed. I didn't even use my Ghostblade there, and we still managed to get him really easily, but even though I'm really fed, Draven just has this knack of like getting a lucky crit and critting for 1,000 and one-shotting you, and then you're really in trouble. So I'm actually not like looking to fight this guy really at all. One thing that I really want to do is like hit this guy and armor shred him, because you're going to see actually, look how much damage I'm doing to a full armor Maokai right there. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. That's 2 armor items, okay, on that Maokai, and you saw I absolutely shred him. Now that isn't just me being overly fed or anything. I only needed these 2 items. That is all that is for the ability damage. My rapid fire cannon is not increasing my Q damage or anything at all, like nothing at all. Those, like my abilities, my Q ripping through him like a normal person, like not a tank, is just my armor shred on my Black Cleaver, and also onto my Ghostblade. It's absolutely insane, guys. Honestly, this build is ridiculous. It needs, I don't want to say it needs a nerf, because I really don't want it to get nerfed, honestly. I'm going to heal them because I'm a nice guy. I'll probably go for this, I guess. I'm waiting for the standard side. There we go. Maybe the Glacial Fissure, but that doesn't look like it's coming in, because I wanted to. Okay, now I actually want to show you this, though. So, I'm just going to ult him. Look at the armor shred. It's actually proccing on him, and now the culling is doing a decent amount of damage. It doesn't do a huge amount, because I actually missed a few of the shots as well, but against a full armor tank, like your culling before, without these items, would literally do absolutely 0 damage. It's actually now doing a decent amount, which is really good. So I'm going to activate my Ghostblade, and we're going to shred him down, which is really good. I'm going to go for this Draven as well. Look at the auto attacks. It just does so much damage. It's ridiculous. We need to kind of wait for minions. I actually don't think we can end the game right here, because everyone's respawning. And the problem with this, like when you're pushing in like that, is actually that they're all going to respawn full health when you're getting lower and lower every time you fight them, and like the more you fight them there, the more chance they have of like turning something around, I guess, as well, which is not going to be good. So now it's actually time really to get some defense, but I mean, I could just get an Infinity Edge here and we could just snowball the game really hard. Maybe it'd be good to do that. The blind is something that I have to be really careful of, though, if I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do it anyway, but we're going to make a compromise. So we're actually going to buy a Wrath Elixir. So Elixir of Wrath, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to buy that because it gives me some lifesteal. It heals you from physical damage dealt to champions, I believe. It's not actually lifesteal. Let me just check that. Yeah, okay, so 15% of the damage dealt. Now, this is really, really good. This is the reason Death Stance actually works really... I definitely meant to press my E there. Okay. I took my hand... Obviously, you can't see. I took my hand off the keyboard to scratch my nose, and apparently I did not put it back in the place where it belonged. That's not... A little bit awkward. Anyway, so this is why Death Stance works really well, because a lot of your damage is coming from your culling and from your Q, right? That we kind of establish this as more of an ability-based build. Well, if you're doing damage with them, obviously Lifesteal doesn't apply from that, right? Because Lifesteal applies well, every time you hit someone, you're going to be getting the Lifesteal back, which is great and everything, but that's a lot of our damage that we're actually not healing from, because we're doing most of our damage from them, right? So when you actually have something that is healing from all sources... Why is nobody stopping this guy? Okay, thank you. Now, when you have something like this healing from all sources... God, look at that Q damage. It's disgusting. When you have healing from all sources, like your Wrath Elixir, your Death Stance, you actually heal from your ultimate and from your Q. So all the damage you do is actually going to heal you. It is ridiculous that kind of like phrasing of lifesteal and healing is actually really, really important. Something a lot of people don't understand, but it's really good with this kind of build as well, especially so. if you actually can get a Wrath Elixir anytime you think you're going to really fight properly, definitely do it. It's a really good pickup, and it's worth more gold. On an auto attack champion, it's nice, but on like an ability based champion, it's actually kind of more, because you get healing from the abilities and from your auto attack. So it kind of works out to be a little bit more than before. So let's use our ultimate just to show you the armor shred again, which is really nice. I actually missed like pretty much everything there, so not great. Let's move down here so we may pick up another kill. Pad those stats, boys. Pad those stats. So apart from that really awkward kill at the very start, the death at the very start, I think that was a really good game. It showed you why this build is so good. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit of a stomp, but it was partially a stomp because we snowballed so hard. And you can kind of close out a game really well with this build. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That wraps up for this video though, so I'll catch you in my next video.